VTA's BART Silicon Valley program is led by Carolyn Ganat, Takis Salpias, and Bernice Alaniz. Carolyn Ganat is VTA's General Manager and CEO. In her 23-year tenure with VTA, Carolyn has served in multiple leadership roles, including Chief BART Program Manager. Takis Salpias is the BART Silicon Valley Project Delivery Chief, which means he leads the overall direction for the project and oversees all project staff. Bernice Alaniz is the project's Director of External Affairs. She leads the team that is the conduit to your community. She has 16 years with VTA and has supported the BART Silicon Valley program's communications for over 8 years. VTA's BART Silicon Valley program extends the BART system from Warm Springs into Santa Clara County. The program is being delivered in 2 phases. Phase 1, which includes a 10-mile extension and 2 stations, Milpitas and Berryessa, North San Jose, opened for passenger service in June of 2020. The Phase 2 project is 6 miles long, featuring a 5-mile tunnel and 4 stations, 3 in San Jose and 1 in Santa Clara. The project will also include 2 mid-tunnel facilities and an end-of-line train storage and maintenance facility. The Phase 2 project provides several benefits for the region. A primary benefit is this project will connect the counties of San Francisco, San Mateo, Alameda, Contra Costa, and Santa Clara with improved, seamless, and frequent rail service around the bay. This project will also connect to many regional transit services, including VTA Light Rail and Bus, Caltrain, and other commuter and intercity rail services, including future high-speed rail. We anticipate most future BART riders will access the system through transit, bicycle, or walking. By providing community members healthier and greener transportation choices, VTA's future BART stations will spur the growth of transit-oriented communities. The project will also result in cleaner air and reduced greenhouse gas emissions. All this means more economic growth that is more sustainable and will strengthen Santa Clara County's position and influence in the region for decades to come. VTA and BART have been working closely together to get to where we are today. Santa Clara County is not part of the BART district, which is why VTA and BART have a unique relationship critical to delivering this project, and each agency's role is outlined in the comprehensive agreement. VTA covers all costs associated with the construction, operation, and maintenance of VTA's BART Silicon Valley program. It also oversees contracting and procurement for the project, including construction. Once constructed, VTA will retain ownership of all infrastructure. BART is providing technical assistance during the planning, design, and construction of the project. This is being done through an integrated VTA and BART team called the Rail and System Organization. Once constructed, BART will operate and maintain the system. BART will also determine service frequency and operating hours. VTA's BART Silicon Valley program began in 2000 when 70% of Santa Clara County voters approved a 30 years half-cent sales tax to fund transportation projects. The next year, VTA conducted a major investment study which determined the current BART extension alignment as the best transit project alternative. The VTA Board of Directors adopted the general alignment and station locations with the 2004 Environmental Impact Report. In 2009, the program was split into 2 projects, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Phase 1, which extended BART 10 miles from Warm Springs to Berryessa, North San Jose, advanced. In 2014, VTA began planning for Phase 2. Voters approved additional sales taxes in 2008 and 2016 that supported funding for VTA's BART Silicon Valley. In 2018, the VTA Board of Directors approved the Phase 2 project and certified its final environmental document. Following completion of the environmental document, FTA approved the project, which allowed VTA to progress with the planning, engineering, and procurement phase and be able to apply for federal funding. Since 2018, VTA has advanced preliminary engineering, developed its construction outreach management program and business resource program, and started real estate acquisition and procurement. In 2022, the project will move into final design and construction. This phase includes selecting contractors, completing design, and building the project. This phase is estimated to last until 2028. The final phase is safety and systems testing. We learned in phase 1 that this phase can take time, so VTA is anticipating it will take 2 years to ensure all systems are integrated and functional with BART's existing system. Passenger service will start at the end of this phase. VTA has a robust funding strategy that relies on significant local support, with 75% of the funding coming from local and state resources. The remaining funding would be granted by the Federal Transit Administration. VTA is pursuing a new federal grant program known as the Expedited Project Delivery Pilot Program, or EPD for short. The EPD program includes a requirement for public-private partnerships and limits federal funding to 25% of the total project cost. VTA is the first agency to be accepted into the EPD pilot program, which will significantly shorten the process for receiving federal funding. In recent years, FTA pledged a total of $225 million towards project funding. VTA received a letter of intent for a full funding grant agreement, or FFGA, from the FTA on October 25, 2021. This action from FTA allows VTA to proceed with construction contracts, real estate acquisitions, final design and engineering, utility relocation, and other non-construction activities, such as procurement of commodities and other specialized equipment. The design and construction of the project will be delivered in 4 contracting packages: systems, tunnel and track work, Newhall Yard and Santa Clara Station, and the underground stations. All 4 contracting packages are going through engineering and procurement processes. Requests for proposals, RFPs, are underway for each of the contract packages. Contract Package 2, Tunnel and Track Work, is the largest of the 4 and first to be advanced. The RFP for the tunnel contract was released in September. Also, VTA recently released the draft RFP for Contract Package 1, Systems, earlier this year. We anticipate the remaining 2 contract package RFPs to be released in March and February of next year. VTA's BART Silicon Valley Phase 2 project alignment extends south from the Berryessa North San Jose station and goes underground before crossing under US 101 and continuing west under Santa Clara Street. From there, the tunnel continues through downtown San Jose past Diridon Station and then turns north to align with the existing railroad corridor. The tunnel will surface just north of I-880, adjacent to Newhall Maintenance Facility. Tracks will continue at ground level until Brokaw Road in Santa Clara. As previously mentioned, there are 4 stations: 28th Street in Little Portugal, downtown San Jose, Diridon, and the Santa Clara Station adjacent to the current Santa Clara Caltrain Station. The first 3 stations will be underground, while the Santa Clara Station will be at street level. The extension also includes the construction of 2 mid-tunnel facilities and a maintenance facility. The concepts you're about to see on the following slides have been developed to inform final design. These concepts will be refined and finalized by the contractor in coordination with VTA and the cities of San Jose and Santa Clara. The upcoming slides also include images of conceptual finishes, such as wall and floor materials, that are being considered for each station. These designs and finishes were selected with the help of community-based design review committees for each station. The first station along the Phase 2 extension will be 28th Street and Little Portugal Station. As shown in the conceptual site plan on the left, the station is between US Highway 101 and 28th Street, just north of Santa Clara Street and behind the Five Wounds Portuguese National Parish. The 28th Street and Little Portugal Station is anticipated to have an average of 6,700 weekday riders by the year 2040. The station entrance building is shown in purple on the corner of the site closest to 28th and Santa Clara Streets. The green boxes represent the underground side-by-side platforms. Also included on the station site, but not called out by the concept, are an 800-space parking garage, a 400-space surface parking lot, and bicycle and bus facilities. The site is being designed to accommodate future potential transit-oriented development, or TOD. When TOD is developed, the 400 parking spaces in the surface lot will be incorporated into the TOD. The image on the right shows the various elements of the station from the station entrance building, item 1, down the stairs, escalators, and elevators, item 2, to the concourse, item 3, and finally the platforms below the concourse, item 4. The station would also provide a direct connection to the future Five Wounds Trail, which is envisioned along the west side of 28th Street. The 28th Street and Little Portugal Station includes a plaza, which could be used for small events and neighborhood gatherings. The 28th Street and Little Portugal Station should reflect the community it will serve. The two images on the left show the light and red terracotta coloring, which are two preliminary options being considered for the station entrance and plaza finishes. These options are intended to reflect the style and coloring of the nearby church. Portuguese-inspired patterns, shown in the images on the right, are also being considered as indoor paving elements in the station. Let's take a look at what you might experience when entering the future 28th Street and Little Portugal Station. This video showcases the station's current design and configuration and provides a conceptual representation of what a future rider might experience. This is the view of the station as you approach along 28th Street coming from Santa Clara Street. As you pass through the fare gates, your eyes are drawn to a circular canopy that lets light down into the lower parts of the station. Continuing down the escalators, there are opportunities for art installations in the future. Multiple locations are being considered for art installation. The escalators lead past a mezzanine and down to the concourse. From this level, you can access both the northbound and southbound platforms below. From here, you can head west to Santa Clara in less than 10 minutes, or go north and beat the rush hour traffic and get to Oakland in approximately 65 to 70 minutes. The next station on the alignment will be in downtown San Jose. This station will serve as the premier station in San Jose's central business district, with an anticipated ridership of nearly 30,000 passengers per day by the year 2040. The station will have two entrances along the north side of Santa Clara Street, as shown in purple on the conceptual site plan. The primary entrance will be between Market Street and First Street, where the current VTA Customer Service Center is. A second entrance will be constructed between First and Second Streets. We have heard a desire for a future entrance on the south side of Santa Clara Street. While the south entrance is not part of this project, the project is accommodating for a future connection, which could be advanced as a separate project. Downtown San Jose Station will also include an emergency egress and ventilation structure on the corner of Santa Clara and 3rd Streets, represented in orange on the conceptual site plan. Downtown San Jose Station's platforms, shown in green in the conceptual site plan, will be stacked one above the other. The station's internal configuration is shown in the conceptual rendering on the right. Fare gates would be provided at street level at each of the entrances. A mix of elevators, escalators, and stairs would provide access to the concourse levels. Short tunnels, also known as adits, will connect the concourse to the platforms. VTA heard from the station's design review committee that downtown San Jose Station should reflect the cultural and artistic diversity the area has to offer. The images on this slide showcase the aesthetic concepts that are being considered for the station. The station's exterior will likely be made of brick and may have a canopy over the entrance, an homage to the historic theaters of the area. The station has significant opportunities for displaying public art, with murals envisioned to line the sidewalls of the primary station entrance. The station would also be integrated into future transit-oriented development on much of the block bound by Santa Clara, Market, St. John, and First Streets. VTA worked with the block's other property owners to develop a design development framework to guide a future developer, which was approved by VTA's Board of Directors in September 2021. In October 2021, the VTA Board approved the issuance of a two-step Master Developer Request for qualifications and proposals for the site. On the next slide, we provided a video that offers a perspective of what you might experience when using downtown San Jose BART Station. The video is intended as a conceptual representation of what a future rider might experience. As we approach the station's main entrance from Santa Clara, we see the station's canopy extending over the sidewalk, clearly indicating that you've reached the station entrance. Passing through the fare gates, you can see across the entire building to the entrance on the north. In the center are two sets of escalators and a bank of elevators. Let's take the escalators down. As we go down, we can see how the station's open design allows for natural light to penetrate down to the concourse level. The depth of the underground stations is comparable to the depth of the Central Subway Chinatown and Union Square Market Street stations in San Francisco. This first concourse level leads to the southbound train towards Santa Clara. As we travel down the platform, you can see the top of the tunnel. On the other end of the platform is the second station entrance. This smaller building will have high-speed elevators to bring us back to street level. These fare gates are a 5-minute walk to City Hall and less than 10 minutes to the San Jose State University campus. Continuing along the alignment, we next have Diridon Station, the primary intermodal hub of Santa Clara County. Diridon BART Station will be constructed on the south side of Santa Clara Street across from the SAP Center. The station's entrance will be located between Cahill and Montgomery Streets and will provide ground-level connections to VTA Light Rail, Caltrain, ACE, and Amtrak. This station is laid out similarly to the downtown San Jose Station, as shown in the conceptual rendering on the right. Fare gates, ticketing, and bicycle facilities will be at street level. Future BART passengers would use a combination of escalators and elevators to access the concourses, and the stacked platforms will be under Santa Clara Street. The future Diridon Station is forecasted to serve nearly 10,000 daily BART riders by 2040. The images on this slide provide representations of the aesthetic finishes being considered for this station. The station will face the SAP Center on Santa Clara Street, and entrances will be provided on both Cahill and Montgomery Streets. This open, light-filled entrance and accent colors bring a transparent and modern tech feel that is reflective of Silicon Valley. This brief video will provide a conceptual representation of what a future rider might experience. Starting from across the SAP Center, we walk to the entrance on Montgomery Street. As we pass through the fare gates, you may notice similarities to the other two stations. Like downtown San Jose Station, this station offers stairs, escalators, and high-speed elevators. 2 flights of escalators will get us to the top concourse level. As we walk into the tunnel, you may notice that unlike at downtown, we are now at the center of the platform. The train from this top platform will take you to Santa Clara Station in less than 5 minutes. The end-of-line station for the Phase 2 project is Santa Clara Station. This station will be adjacent to the Santa Clara Caltrain station to the west. The station will include vehicle parking, bicycle facilities, and a connection to Caltrain, Capital Corridor, Altamont Corridor Express, and several VTA bus lines on the west side of the tracks via the existing pedestrian undercrossing. Unlike the other 3 stations, the Santa Clara Station concourse will be elevated and the platform will be at ground level, similar to the Warm Springs BART station. The elevated concourse would go over BART storage tracks to provide access to the ground level platforms. On the border of Santa Clara and San Jose, BART passengers will have access to destinations in both cities within walking distance. Across the street from the station will be Gateway Crossings, a new development with a mix of housing, retail, and open space. To the southeast is PayPal Park, home to the San Jose Earthquakes, the Coleman Highland Office Park, and various restaurants and retail. To the southwest is Santa Clara University, the oldest operating university in California. This video of Santa Clara Station provides a conceptual representation of what a future rider might experience. This is the entrance to the station on Champions Way, with the parking garage on the left above BART train storage tracks. Stairs, escalators, and elevators will provide access to the elevated concourse. To continue to the BART train, you turn left and pass through the fare gates. There are a series of stairs, escalators, and elevators. This view takes us to the southern end of the concourse. From here, we can access the station's platform, which is at the same level as the Caltrain tracks and the Newhall maintenance facility. From here, BART will provide reliable service to Oakland in just over an hour.
In addition to the 4 new stations, the Phase 2 project will also include these additional elements: a 5-mile single-board tunnel, 2 mid-tunnel facilities, one at 13th Street and another at Stockton Avenue, and the Newhall maintenance facility. One of the most unique elements of the Phase 2 extension is that the trains will run in a single, large-diameter tunnel that will accommodate 2 train tracks, one for each direction. Thanks to the large 43-foot diameter of the tunnel, we can construct many of our station's facilities within the tunnel itself. This means construction can largely take place off the street, reducing the need to close Santa Clara Street in comparison to more common twin-bore and open-cut tunnel construction methods. Single-bore tunnels have been used for highways and multiple other types of projects in the United States. The project will be the first time that a single-bore tunnel is used for a transit system in the U.S. There will be 2 mid-tunnel facilities, one on Santa Clara Street at 13th Street, and the second on Stockton Avenue at Shield Avenue. The mid-tunnel facilities are primarily for emergency exit and to provide ventilation in the tunnel. The mid-tunnel facilities will be fully enclosed and will blend in with the surrounding urban environment. The 13th Street Mid-Tunnel facility will be on the northwest corner of 13th and Santa Clara Streets. The facility will face Santa Clara Street and provides an opportunity for future potential transit-oriented development. In 2008, VTA engaged the surrounding community to collect feedback on the facility's aesthetics. VTA will be further engaging the surrounding community as the project progresses. The Stockton Avenue Mid-Tunnel facility will be on Stockton Avenue at the intersection of Shield Avenue. The facility will be incorporated into the existing neighborhood characteristics. VTA will be engaging the surrounding community on the facility's aesthetics and construction methods as the project progresses. Mid-tunnel facility construction will likely include a cut and cover construction method. This involves relocating utilities in the street, excavating the top portion of soil underneath the roadway, installing temporary decking for traffic to resume, constructing the underground facilities, backfilling soil over the top of the construction, and restoring the underground surface. Currently, engineering plans include limited cut and cover construction. It is estimated that 75 to 150 feet of street surface may be impacted along Santa Clara Street and Stockton Avenue for construction of the mid-tunnel facilities. This is subject to change as the project advances. The contractor will limit construction impacts to the greatest extent possible, as specified in the contractual requirements. VTA will engage the community on construction methods prior to the start of construction. Here are examples of cut and cover construction from LA Metro's subway expansion in Los Angeles. As you can see, temporary roadway decking was placed while crews continued excavating and building the structure underneath. This limits the amount of time detours are required. The Newhall maintenance facility will be constructed to accommodate the new service provided by the Phase 2 project. This facility will be located immediately northeast of the Caltrain Railroad corridor on the former Union Pacific Newhall yard that VTA purchased in 2004. The roughly 40-acre facility will include storage for BART cars. Some of the additional key elements of the Newhall maintenance facility could include various maintenance shops, a train car wash building, and various train control, power, and communications facilities. Now that you have heard about the physical elements of the Phase 2 extension, we'd like to share how we will be delivering and constructing the project. VTA is delivering its BART Silicon Valley Phase 2 project in 4 contract packages, also known as CPs. CP1 is systems, and it focuses on system-wide train control and rail communication systems. As the largest valued contract, CP2, tunnel and track work, includes the procurement of a very large 48-foot diameter tunnel boring machine, excavation of the tunnel and 3 underground stations, and track work in the tunnel, portals, and 2 mid-tunnel facilities. CP3 is specific to Newhall Yard and Santa Clara Station. CP3 includes the maintenance yard and facility, storage tracks, ground level Santa Clara Station, and parking garage. Finally, CP4 covers stations and includes 28th Street, Little Portugal, downtown, and Diridon stations. The contract package also covers mechanical, electrical, and plumbing of the 3 underground stations. CP1 and CP2 are set to begin in mid-2022 and go until early 2028 and 2029, while CP3 and CP4 are both set to start in late 2023 and go through mid-2028. Revenue service is scheduled to begin in 2030. Progressive Design Build is the project delivery method for CP2. The process is similar to Design Build, but contracts are made with the Design Build contractor at an even earlier stage in the project's development, utilizing about 10% design definition, and contractor selection is mainly based on qualifications. Due to the contract size and complexity, a high level of collaboration and input from VTA, BART, and the Progressive Design Build contractor is required throughout the design and construction process. This helps to avoid creating a design that is expensive and/or challenging to build. This process also creates a transparent and iterative open book cost evaluation estimate, maximizing innovation and limiting project risk. Since Progressive Design Build helps identify and mitigate issues early, CP2 will benefit from this project delivery method as it allocates risks appropriately and welcomes an open and collaborative environment between both VTA, BART, and the contractor. The project's Progressive Design Build process will include two main stages. Stage 1 will include collaboration between the Progressive Design Build contractor, VTA, BART, the City of San Jose, and the community. It is in this phase that pre-construction design will advance from 10% to 90%. The bulk of pre-construction activities and some limited preparatory early work will also be included in this process. This will also include starting the procurement of the tunnel boring machine, which will be specifically manufactured for the project and take over a year. During Stage 2, the Progressive Design Build contractor will provide a proposal that includes construction cost, schedule, and risk mitigations. Stage 2 will follow the construction process through to the completed design. The project delivery method for CPs 1, 3, and 4 is Design Build. This means that architectural, design, and construction services for each fall under a single contract and have a single point of management with the design, beginning with a 30% package prepared by the owner, and the remaining design is left to the builder in accordance with owner-defined criteria and standards. Design Build allows for a simplified procurement process and better integration of the design and construction phases. This also means the design and construction teams are formed prior to the proposal phase. The cost of Design Build is competitive, but the main driver is faster project delivery, since construction can proceed in parallel with design. Design Build can provide significant time savings. According to a 2018 study by the Construction Institute, Design Build projects had a 102% faster delivery speed than the more traditional design bid build. Cost is also known when the contract is awarded. After selection, the design build contractor uses their skills and expertise to complete design and build the project. VTA's role is to oversee their work. Early construction activities, sometimes referred to as enabling works, include activities that must be conducted for project construction to advance. These activities would be conducted by the CP2 contractor as part of the track and tunnel package. 3 teams have been pre-qualified to propose on Contract Package 2 by the end of 2021. The selected contractor will start performing early construction activities in 2022, while simultaneously advancing the tunnel's design. These early construction activities will be conducted at several sites along the future alignment. Types of work may include utility relocations, building remediation and demolition, soil sampling, preliminary excavation, production and storage of tunnel lining segments, tunnel boring machine fabrication, and survey and instrumentation installation. It is important to note that this is a preliminary list of work that is subject to change, depending on feedback from the contractor team. A more defined schedule of work will be available after the contract is awarded. The image you see on the right is an example of a tunnel boring machine, also called a TBM for short. The TBM includes a cutter head, shown in white and orange in the picture, which rotates to dig through soil and rock. The excavated material is then removed through a conveyor system within the machine. TBM boring speeds vary greatly, depending on the size and length of the tunnel, the geological conditions, and many other factors. A TBM of this size may excavate and support about 30 to 40 feet of tunnel per day on average. VTA's TBM will have an exterior diameter of approximately 48 feet and will be custom built by TBM manufacturers. The TBM will be built and tested at a factory, then disassembled into pieces small enough for shipping. The components will arrive on site and need to be reassembled and tested prior to launching. Crews will use the heavy-duty cranes and purpose-built cradles to weld and bolt the machine back together. The TBM will most likely be launched at the west portal and finish at the east portal. The west portal is behind PayPal Park, and the east portal is near the current end of the Phase 1 extension by the Berryessa North San José BART Station. A TBM jacking frame, which is the triangular gray steel and struts that are shown in this photo, will be built at the west portal to give the TBM something strong to push from. This will be used to get the TBM launched. Once the TBM advances a couple hundred feet, it will be dismantled and the TBM will use the precast concrete tunnel segments to continue boring the tunnel. The TBM will construct the tunnel using precast segments that will be stored at Newhall Yard and transported into the tunnel boring machine. The TBM will then place and seal the segments in place to create the tunnel. Slurry walls will be used extensively on the project for supporting deep excavations. They provide supportive excavation, also known as SOE, and keep groundwater out of the construction sites. Typically, slurry walls are 3 to 4 feet wide and over 150 feet deep around the perimeter of each site. They are made up of concrete and rebar and supported by steel struts. These will be installed at both portals, mid-tunnel facilities, and at all underground stations and ancillary structures. During construction, information will be available through field office postings and a 24/7 hotline that will be accessible in English, Spanish, Vietnamese, Chinese, Tagalog, Portuguese, and Korean. Further information and inquiries can also be found by reaching out to VTA BART at VTABSV.com. VTA has developed and will implement the Construction Outreach Management Program to meet its environmental commitments. The purpose of the COMP is to minimize and reduce construction-related transportation impacts on the community and inform the public and other stakeholders of the construction schedule and associated activities. The COMP includes 3 plans: the Construction, Education, and Outreach Plan, the Construction Transportation Management Plan, and the Emergency Services Coordination Plan. The purpose of the Construction, Education, and Outreach Plan, or the CEOP for short, is to guide engagement with local businesses and community organizations along the project alignment, as well as to understand how to minimize and reduce construction impacts. There are 5 key elements to the CEOP: general outreach, stakeholder engagement, business resources, placemaking, and on the radar. General outreach is being conducted with broader audiences and communities along the Phase 2 alignment to deliver the next 6 miles of VTA's BART Silicon Valley program. This is being done through mailers, flyer drops, public meetings, a 24/7 hotline, tabling events, field offices, both traditional and social media, construction notices and coordination, webinars, and other outreach tools to keep people informed. Stakeholder engagement efforts are focused on identifying stakeholders most impacted by the project and nurturing those relationships. We are doing this through the many great partnerships we have with our community working group members, leveraging their vast networks to bring people to the table. We have also done door-to-door intake, tours, and presentations at other groups' meetings like neighborhood and business associations. On the radar is an important effort to coordinate with other projects in the area on messaging and communications. We know firsthand that coordination with other development will be a key for successful project delivery. We are plugged into various meetings, such as the City of San Jose's monthly Downtown Construction Coordination meeting and the Arena Entertainment and Operations Committee. VTA is committed to supporting and sustaining small businesses' economic health during construction. We are incorporating best practices and lessons learned from other federally funded mega projects around the country, such as those in Los Angeles, California, St. Paul, Minnesota, and Mesa, Arizona. VTA has organized a small business task force made up of businesses and business resource providers in the project's vicinity. This group informed VTA's Small Business Resource Study and the Business Resource Program, which is currently under development. VTA aims to enhance awareness and access during construction while helping to keep the area active and providing exposure to impacted businesses and increase positive public sentiment. This is done through organized events, pop-up events, public art, space activation, and wayfinding signage to make sure people can connect with these exciting experiences and have a presence in the area. The Construction Transportation Management Plan, also known as the CTMP, was developed to prepare for upcoming construction activities. The plan identifies access and service needs that have been identified through a series of stakeholder interviews and surveys. The Emergency Services Coordination Plan identifies requirements and processes to help minimize construction-related impacts along emergency service routes. The plan was created through close coordination with fire and police representatives and will be included with each contract-specific CTMP. In addition to the CEOP, VTA also gathers input through various meetings, working groups, committees, and one-on-one briefings. VTA convenes quarterly community working groups that are open to the public. If interested, we encourage you to attend. We are also happy to present at any existing community or neighborhood meetings. In the past month, we engaged the community to gather feedback on the look and feel of the station aesthetics. Opportunities for comments and feedback were provided through an interactive online platform as well as at various tabling events that were held near each of the 4 station areas. Through this online and in-person engagement, we've received feedback from more than 2,500 people. There are many opportunities to learn more about the project. My VTA will be launching and providing SMS alerts on project milestones and updates. As always, further information is also available on our website, fact sheets, our social media accounts, and at community meetings. As mentioned earlier, we also would love to share more information through tailored group presentations. If you're interested in getting involved, you can sign up and subscribe to updates on our website or email us at vtabart@vtabsv.com. Thank you for participating in today's meeting.